Welcome back to my channel, All Old Rare Coins. If you love discovering hidden treasures, you're in the right place. Today, we're revealing some coins that could be worth way more than you think. Stick around to find out. New here? Like, subscribe, and let's dive in. We're going to talk about one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in U.S. history, the 1965 U.S. Liberty $quarter coin. Now, when we think about coins from the 1960s, many people imagine them as simple, everyday currency that was used in the hustle and bustle of life. But the 1965 Liberty Quarter is no ordinary coin. Far from it. This quarter, which may look like just another piece of change to the untrained eye, could potentially be worth an astonishing amount of money, if you know what to look for. Stick with me, and I'll explain why this coin is so special and how you might just have a treasure on your hands without even knowing it. Let's start with a bit of background about the 1965 Liberty Quarter. In the mid-1960s, the U.S. was undergoing a major shift in its coinage. In 1965, the United States government stopped using silver in most of its circulating coins. The quarter, traditionally made from 90% silver, was now minted with a copper-nickel-clad composition. This change was implemented due to a silver shortage, and as a result, many coins from that year and onward became less valuable in terms of precious metal content. But here's where things get interesting. Not all 1965 quarters are created equal. You see, although most 1965 Liberty quarters were made with the new copper-nickel blend, a small number of them were actually struck using silver. How did this happen? Well, there was a minting error at the time when the U.S. Mint accidentally used silver planchets, blanks, that were left over from earlier years, before the switch to the copper-nickel composition. These silver planchets were supposed to be scrapped, but some slipped through the cracks, and a small number of 1,965 quarters were struck with silver instead of the usual copper-nickel alloy. Now, what makes these silver 1965 quarters so special? First off, it's incredibly rare to find one of these silver versions. The U.S. Mint didn't intend to produce silver quarters in 1965, so they were never part of regular circulation. Because of this, there's a very limited number of them in existence. And, as you might imagine, this rarity drives the price up significantly for collectors who are lucky enough to get their hands on one. But it's not just the silver error that makes the 1965 Liberty Quarter so valuable. There are also other rare variants to be on the lookout for. Some quarters from 1965 have been found with other minting errors, such as doubling on the obverse or reverse sides of the coin, or misaligned dies that result in an off-center strike. These types of errors are what coin collectors dream of finding, because they make the coin even more unique and increase its value. If you ever come across a 1965 quarter, you should pay close attention to its condition. The better the condition, the higher its potential value. A coin that has been well preserved, free from scratches or wear, can be worth much more than a heavily circulated one. Coins that are graded as uncirculated are the ones that collectors look for most, and if you've got one of these error coins in perfect condition, you might be sitting on a small fortune. And now, I'm sure you're wondering, just how much could a 1965 Liberty Quarter be worth? Well, let me tell you, if you happen to have one of these rare, silver-struck 1965 quarters, especially one with a significant minting error or in excellent condition, it could be worth a mind-blowing $200,000. That's right, $200,000 for a single coin. It's a true testament to the rarity and uniqueness of these pieces of history. So, next time you're going through your coin collection or digging through your change, remember to keep an eye out for any 1965 quarters. You might just have a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Second rare coin, we're diving into the world of the 1972 U.S. Liberty $quarter coin, and trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. You might think it's just another regular quarter from the 1970s, but hold on, this coin hides some secrets that could make it incredibly valuable. Let's start by understanding the context of the 1972 Liberty Quarter. In the early 1970s, the United States was undergoing some significant changes in its economy, and the world of coinage was no exception. By this time, The US had already moved away from using precious metals in most of its circulating coins, so the 1972 quarter was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, which was standard for that era. But the story doesn't end there. What sets this coin apart isn't just its design or metal content, it's the rare errors that can turn this seemingly ordinary coin into a treasure trove for collectors. First, let's talk about the design. On the obverse of the 1972 quarter, you'll find the iconic image of George Washington, which has been used on the quarter since 1932. This design, created by John Flanagan, features Washington facing left, with the word Liberty across the top and the year of issue below. On the reverse side, we see the classic eagle, with its wings spread wide, grasping an olive branch in one talon and arrows in the other, symbolizing peace and strength. It's a design that has stood the test of time, but in 1972, things took an unexpected turn. The 1972 quarter is known to have some specific minting errors that make it particularly valuable to collectors. One of the most common errors that collectors look for is the double die variety, which results in a noticeable doubling of the design on the coin, particularly the lettering and the numbers. This error happens when a coin die is misaligned during the minting process, and it creates a dramatic, almost double-imaged look on the coin. The most famous of these errors in 1972 is the 1972 double die obverse, where the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions appear more than once, creating a ghostly effect. The double die on the 1972 quarter isn't just a small flaw, it's one of the most sought-after errors in the world of coin collecting. Finding one of these coins in excellent condition is like striking gold. The value of a 1972 quarter with the double die error can vary depending on its state, but it can be worth a significant amount more than a typical 1972 quarter. For collectors, these errors are like hidden gems, and the excitement of finding one in your collection or in your change is enough to send anyone's heart racing. Another aspect that makes the 1972 quarter even more intriguing is the overall rarity of these error coins. While the U.S. Mint produced millions of 1972 quarters, only a small fraction of those were struck with the double die error. The number of these coins that still exist today in good or uncirculated condition is even smaller, which only drives up their value. If you happen to own one of these coins, you're holding on to a piece of history that is incredibly rare and highly desirable in the coin collecting world. Now, let's talk about the value. When it comes to rare coins, condition is everything. If you find a 1972 quarter with the double die error, and it's in near perfect or uncirculated condition, then you could be sitting on a small fortune. The value of these coins has risen dramatically over the years, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. Depending on the condition and the quality of the error, a 1972 Liberty quarter can be worth an impressive sum, but if it's in pristine, error-free condition with no signs of wear, the value could skyrocket. And now, I'm sure you're wondering just how much you could get for one of these rare error coins. Well, here's the big reveal. If you happen to have a 1972 Liberty quarter with the double die error in excellent condition, you could be looking at a staggering $170,000. Yes, that's right, $170,000 for a single coin. Imagine finding one of these in your collection or at the bottom of a jar full of old change. It's a collector's dream come true. So, if you've got a 1972 quarter lying around, take a closer look. You might just have a hidden treasure worth a small fortune. Coin collecting is all about finding those rare, unique pieces that others might overlook. The 1972 Liberty quarter with the double die error is definitely one of those coins, and now you know exactly why collectors are so eager to get their hands on it. Keep your eyes peeled, and you might just discover a piece of U.S. history that's worth far more than its face value. Third expensive coin, we have a real treat for you. We're going to explore the 1995 P Liberty $quarter coin, a seemingly simple coin, but with some incredible twists that could make it worth far more than you might expect. Whether you're an experienced collector or a newbie just starting to dive into the world of numismatics, this coin could have a hidden value you won't want to miss. At first glance, the 1995 P Liberty quarter may look just like any other quarter in your pocket, but when you understand the story behind it, you'll see why it's such a hot commodity in the coin collecting world. First, let's talk about the basic details of this coin. The 1995 P Liberty Quarter was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, marked with the P mint mark to show where it was produced. It features the classic image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, which has graced the quarter since 1932. On the reverse side, we have the iconic eagle with its wings spread wide, clutching an olive branch and arrows, symbols of peace and strength. So why exactly does this 1995 P coin stand out in the vast sea of quarters that were minted that year? The answer lies in a very specific and rare error that happened during the minting process. You see, although millions of 1995 P quarters were produced, there was an unusual and incredibly rare die error that made some of these coins incredibly valuable. This error is called a double die variety, and it results in a noticeable duplication of the design on the coin, particularly the inscriptions. The letters and numbers on the coin, such as Liberty and In God We Trust, can appear doubled or blurry, giving the coin a very distinctive look. Double die coins are a favorite among collectors because they are so rare and unique. The error happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing the design to be stamped more than once. This doesn't happen often, and when it does, the result is a coin that stands out from the rest. For the 1995 P quarter, this error can be subtle, but for those with a trained eye, it's easy to spot. Now, here's where it gets interesting. A small number of these 1995 P quarters with the double die error were released into circulation, and not many of them are still around today. Over time, most of these error coins were either spent, lost, or damaged, making those that remain in good condition incredibly rare. Because of this, a 1995 P Liberty Quarter with a noticeable double die error is highly sought after by serious collectors. The demand for these rare varieties has driven their value up significantly, especially when the coins are in excellent condition. What makes this coin even more exciting for collectors is its condition. Like most rare coins, the better the condition, the higher the value. A 1995 P quarter with the double die error that has been well preserved, with minimal wear and no signs of damage, can fetch a far higher price than a worn or heavily circulated one. For collectors, it's not just about owning a rare coin, it's about finding one that has been kept in pristine condition. And let's not forget the market for error coins, which is booming. Coin collectors know that finding an error coin, especially one as rare as the 1995 P double die, can be a real jackpot. There's something thrilling about knowing that you're holding a coin that most people wouldn't recognize as being special. These coins aren't just interesting because of their rarity, but also because of their story. They carry with them the history of the minting process, the small mistakes that can lead to extraordinary discoveries. So, now you're probably wondering, just how much is this 1995 P Liberty Quarter really worth? If you happen to find one of these rare double die coins in excellent condition, you could be looking at a truly valuable piece of U.S. history. The value of a 1995 P quarter with the double die error can vary depending on its grade, but in some cases, it has been known to sell for an incredible $130,000. Yes, you heard that right, $130,000 for a single coin. That's a life-changing amount for just a quarter, and it shows you just how much value can be hidden in these small, everyday pieces of currency. So, if you have a 1995 P quarter in your collection, or if you come across one in your change, take a closer look. You might just have a rare treasure worth a small fortune. The world of coin collecting is all about hunting for those rare, valuable finds, and the 1995 P Liberty Quarter with the double die error is one of the best examples of how a simple coin can turn into a major discovery. Whether you're looking to add a unique piece to your collection or hoping to make a significant sale, this coin is definitely one to keep an eye out for. Now, we're diving into a coin that you might have overlooked in your collection, but this 1983 D Liberty Quarter could be hiding a huge secret. Most people don't realize that some of these quarters are worth much more than their face value, and if you're lucky enough to find one of the rare error versions, you could be holding a small fortune in your hands. Let's set the scene first. The 1983 D Liberty Quarter was minted at the Denver Mint, marked with the distinctive D mint mark that tells us where it came from. At first glance, it's an ordinary quarter, just another coin that was part of regular circulation. The quarter features the classic portrait of George Washington on the obverse, and on the reverse, the eagle, with its wings spread, holding an olive branch and arrows. The design has remained largely unchanged for decades, and it's one that most people are familiar with, but here's where things get interesting. The 1983 D Liberty Quarter wasn't just another coin minted to be spent at the store or tossed into a jar of loose change. Some of these quarters were struck with a rare error that makes them incredibly valuable in the world of coin collecting. This error, known as the double die variety, occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or improperly pressed, resulting in a duplicated image on the coin's design. In the case of the 1983 D quarter, the double die error affects the inscriptions, most notably Liberty and In God We Trust, as well as other parts of the design. The letters and numbers appear to be slightly shifted, giving them a double or ghost-like appearance. If you look closely at these coins, you'll see that some of the lettering looks blurry or overprinted. This subtle yet striking error is what makes these coins so valuable to collectors. You might be wondering, how rare is this error? Well, it's not something you'll come across every day. While millions of 1983 D quarters were minted, only a small number of them ended up with this double die error. And what makes it even rarer is that many of these coins were heavily circulated and became worn over time. The ones that remain in excellent, near uncirculated condition are extremely hard to find, which is why they're so highly sought after in the coin collecting community. For collectors, the excitement of discovering a rare error coin is like striking gold. Not only is it a piece of U.S. history, but it's also a treasure that can significantly increase in value. A 1983 D quarter with the double die error in great condition can be worth far more than a regular quarter, and the value only continues to rise as time goes on. Now, let's talk about the value. Most 1983 D Liberty quarters are worth just 25 cents, but if you find one with the double die error, the price can skyrocket. In fact, if you happen to have one of these rare coins, especially in uncirculated or near perfect condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Are you ready for the big reveal? A 1983 D Liberty quarter with the double die error could be worth an incredible $140,000, that's right, $140,000 for a single coin. For a quarter that most people would toss into their pocket or a jar of change, this is an unbelievable amount of money. Imagine the thrill of finding one of these error coins, whether you're flipping through your collection or going through old coins you've saved over the years. If you come across one of these gems, don't just spend it, take a closer look. It could be worth far more than you think. For coin collectors, these kinds of finds are what make the hobby so exciting. You never know when you'll stumble upon a coin that's not just valuable in terms of rarity, but also because it tells a story. A story of a minting error, a piece of U.S. history, and a coin that almost didn't make it into circulation. That's what makes collecting coins so thrilling, finding those hidden treasures that others might overlook. So, the next time you're going through your change, or maybe sifting through your old coin collection, keep an eye out for the 1983 D Liberty quarter. If you're lucky enough to spot one with the double die error, you could be holding onto something worth a lot more than just 25 cents. Remember, a rare coin in excellent condition can be worth $140,000. Next coin, we're diving into the world of the 1994 D Liberty $quarter coin, and let me tell you, this seemingly ordinary quarter could be hiding a hidden treasure worth far more than its face value. So, if you're ready to find out how a simple coin could turn into a goldmine, stick with us. At first glance, the 1994 D Liberty quarter may look like just another coin from the 1990s. But don't be fooled, there's much more to this coin than meets the eye. The 1994 D quarter, minted at the Denver Mint, features the well-known design of George Washington, created by John Flanagan. This image of Washington has adorned U.S. quarters since 1932 and continues to be a symbol of the country's strength and history. On the reverse side, you'll find the majestic eagle with outstretched wings, holding an olive branch and arrows, signifying peace and strength. This design may be familiar, but what makes this 1994 D quarter stand out is the error that makes it so incredibly valuable to collectors. While millions of these coins were produced, a very small percentage of them were struck with a unique flaw that makes them highly sought after. The error we're talking about is known as the double die variety. Essentially, this happens when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, and as a result, the image on the coin appears to be doubled. This error is most noticeable on the inscriptions and numbers, like Liberty and In God We Trust, which will appear slightly offset or blurred, giving the coin a ghostly or double-printed appearance. This double die error is one of the most coveted types of mistakes in coin collecting, and the 1994 D quarter is one of the coins that collectors are always on the lookout for. But here's the catch: these double die varieties are incredibly rare. Not every 1994 D quarter has this error, and even fewer are in great condition. Most of the coins that were struck with this error ended up in circulation, so finding one that has been well preserved or remains in uncirculated condition is a true gem. That's what makes it so exciting for collectors. The rarity of finding one in good shape, paired with the unique nature of the error, creates a perfect storm for high demand. Now, let's talk about the real treasure here, the value of the 1994 D Liberty quarter with the double die error. Most quarters from 1994 are worth exactly 25 cents. However, a coin with this error can fetch much higher prices, especially when it's in excellent condition. Coin collectors are constantly hunting for rare, error-struck pieces, and when they find one, they know it could be a valuable addition to their collection. But how valuable is it, you ask? Well, depending on the condition and the extent of the error, a 1994 D quarter with the double die error can be worth significantly more than its face value. If you're lucky enough to have one of these rare coins in your collection, you could be looking at a price tag of $111,000, that's right, $111,000 for a single quarter. For a coin that most people would toss into their pocket change, this is an astonishing value. Imagine stumbling upon one of these in your collection or finding it among your spare change. It's a coin that could truly change your life. Coin collecting is all about finding those unique, rare pieces that tell a story, and the 1994 D Liberty quarter with the double die error is one of those incredible finds. It's a reminder that even something as simple as a quarter can carry hidden value, and with the right knowledge, you can turn an ordinary coin into a priceless treasure. Whether you're just starting to collect or you've been in the hobby for years, discovering a rare error coin like this one can be one of the most exciting moments in the world of numismatics. So, if you happen to come across a 1994 D quarter in your collection, or if you find one in your loose change, make sure to examine it closely. Look for that double die error on the inscriptions, and if you find one in great condition, you could be holding on to a small fortune. Last unique coin, we have a coin that might just be sitting in your collection, waiting to be discovered for its incredible value, the 1974 US Liberty quarter. Now, this might look like just another quarter to most people, but trust me, this coin has a story to tell. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see why this quarter could be worth far more than its face value. The 1974 US Liberty quarter, minted at the Philadelphia Mint, carries the timeless design of George Washington, created by John Flanagan. This iconic design has been featured on US quarters for decades. On the reverse side, you'll find the powerful eagle, symbolizing strength and pride, holding an olive branch and arrows. It's a classic piece of American history that's been in circulation for over 90 years, but here's where the excitement begins. While the 1974 quarter might seem ordinary at first, there's something very special about some of these coins that makes them incredibly valuable. You see, like many coins in history, some of the 1974 quarters were struck with a rare error, a minting flaw that makes these coins much more than just pocket change. So, what is this error, and why does it matter? Well, one of the most sought-after varieties of the 1974 quarter is known as the double die error. This happens when the die used to stamp the coin is misaligned, causing the design to be duplicated or appear blurry, especially on the letters and numbers. The most noticeable feature is a doubling of the word liberty and the phrase, "In God we trust," which appear as if they were struck twice in a slightly off-center way. This flaw gives the coin a distinctive look that makes it stand out from the rest of the 1974 quarters. Now, why does this matter so much? Well, error coins like the double die are incredibly rare. Out of the millions of quarters minted in 1974, only a small percentage of them ended up with this error. Even fewer have survived in good condition, which is what makes them so desirable to collectors. When these coins are found in excellent or uncirculated condition, their value skyrockets because collectors understand how rare and special they are. Think about it, this is a coin that, by all accounts, should have been just another quarter in circulation. But because of this mistake during the minting process, it's now a coveted treasure that only a lucky few will ever come across. If you're lucky enough to find one of these error coins, you're holding a piece of history that's worth far more than its 25-cent face value. Now, let's get to the most exciting part. Just how much could a 1974 Liberty quarter with this error be worth? Well, depending on the condition of the coin, this rare find could fetch a staggering price. A 1974 quarter with the double die error in excellent condition has been known to sell for as much as $165,000, yes, you heard that right, $165,000 for a single coin. That's an incredible amount of money for a quarter that most people wouldn't even give a second glance to. Imagine finding one of these in your collection or even in your loose change. It could be a life-changing discovery. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1974 Liberty quarter with the double die error is one of the best examples of how a small mistake can turn a regular coin into a rare and highly valuable treasure. If you're a collector, this is one of those coins that you'll want to keep an eye out for, whether you're sifting through your own stash or hunting for rare finds at coin shows. So, next time you're flipping through your collection or going through some old coins, make sure to look carefully at your 1974 quarters. If you spot any doubling on the inscriptions, you might just have found a rare gem that could be worth $165,000. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video gave you some exciting insight into the world of coin collecting. If you enjoyed this content and want to learn more about other rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Keep those eyes peeled, because you might just find your next big treasure. Happy collecting!